Hi there, welcome to the latest episode of my 10-minute moan. And in this 10-minute moan, I'm going to take a wee look back because this is the anniversary of Scottish National Party first gaining power at Holyrood. And that happened in the 3rd of May 2007. So yesterday was their anniversary. I do apologise. And probably the votes actually would have come in the 4th. So probably the 4th before they were announced. So happy anniversary, you crackpots. And I don't really know how I didn't remember all this stuff about how they actually get in and the questions that were raised and what happened in Parliament. But it was all a bit bizarre. And I think at the time, I had no long started a job in London, where I worked in the City of London as a sales director for quite a large commercial cleaning company. And that, to be fair, was the first time I seen just pure blatant in-your-face abuse of corruption. Not corruption, money, taking money for bungs and stuff like that. It absolutely blew my mind because I was working in an environment that we'd done a lot of public stuff, for community councils, not community councils, local councils and stuff like that. I think it was about 25 boroughs in London, and we dealt with probably 20% of them at some point or another. And some of the mad stuff I seen, just people blatantly, so much is in it for me and stuff like that. It opened my eyes. I'd spent about 20 years in the motor trade up to this point, and I thought I knew a bit. You start working, doing business with the public sector, opens your eyes. Honestly, it's cracking. Absolutely cracking. So, that's probably why I probably didn't even vote, because I was trying to think, who did I vote for in the 07 election? I probably didn't vote because I'd have been 400 miles away. And because I went quite quick to London, the job offer came on and off I popped. I was probably there at the time and didn't do a postal vote. So I don't think I actually voted, which I'm eternally ashamed of. But the 2007 parliamentary elections, the SNP, led by Alex Salmond at the time, got 47 seats. They won an extra 20 over the previous year. And the Labour Party, who up until this point had been in a coalition with the Liberal Dems, so they lost 4 seats to go down to 46. Tories had 17. Lib Dems had 17. The Greens had 2. They lost 5. Wow. And the Scottish Socialists, who had 6 in the previous, went to hee-haw. So before that, as I say, there was a coalition with the Lib Dems and the Labour Party. Now, if they hadn't fell out, right, between them, they had 46 and 16, 56, 62. Jack McConnell would have become the leader because, I'll just go down here where we had the actual leadership campaign. There was 4 people put in for the job as the First Minister. If you can let me get down here, where are we? There we go. And in the first round, the SNP plus the Greens voted for Alex. Labour voted for Jack McConnell. All the Tories voted for Annabel Goldie, and all the Lib Dems voted for Nicola Stephen. So in the first round, 2, because they had the same 16 votes, were eliminated. Went to a second vote, and everybody abstained, apart from the ones that had already voted Alex Salmond. So Alex Salmond and Jack McConnell got the exact same votes in the second round. That was 49-46, with 33 abstentions. That would include the presiding officer, to be fair. So the 32 people who had voted Tory and Lib Dem in the first round didn't vote in the second round. And Alec won and became the First Minister with a minority government. So that was a bit annoying, because if Lib Dems and they fell out with Labour, they would have voted for Jack McConnell at least in the second round, and he would have ended up with 62 votes playing Alex 49. So Jack McConnell would have controlled the minority government at the time. The bloody Lib Dems and Labour, if they hadn't fell out, we might never had these 17 years of torture. However, there was some incidents, right, which I clean forgot all about. Once I started reading up on this, I thought, God, I remember it now. I remember it being on the news, I remember it being in newspapers, but there was a high number of, unusual high number, 146,000 ballot papers spoiled. 60,000 for the regional vote and 85,000 for the constituency vote. That's a pretty high number. And there was lots of reasons given why, but there was one, and I don't know if it's on this article I'm looking at. If Labour had won Arran, which they lost by, forgive me if I'm wrong here, it'll not be much, about 86 votes, then the swing would have went in Labour's favour. Labour would have had the majority of seats because they only beat by one. They would have won by one, going that way, because Labour would have gained one and Tories, SNP would have come down one. So, a bit mental that as well, that the one seat that, in fact, it might even have been as low as 48 seats. Certainly it was in Arran, and there was like hundreds of votes spoiled at Arran. And you're like, that's a bit weird. There was threats of legal action. The 5th of May, BBC reported that Labour were considering legal action against, this is it, against some results, particularly Cunningham North, where the SNP Labour by 48 votes, I was right, due to the high number of rejected votes. A further challenge was expected from Mike Daly from Govan Law Centre, a member of the Labour Party, purportedly on behalf of voters in Glasgow region. He said that the results should be challenged because there were over 10,000 rejected ballots, which could have caused a different result if they'd counted. Tommy Sheridan of Solidarity was only 2,215 votes short of beating the Greens for the last place as an MSP. That would have been in the regional vote. Wow. However, there were no election petitions raised to challenge the results. So it was a bit whiffy at the time, and I remember there was things like how the actual ballot papers and stuff were set out, and Alex Salmond done something a bit sneaky. On the regional list, instead of putting Scottish National Party, because you're voting for the party at that point, has said Alex Salmond for First Minister. So that meant it started the letter A, so instead of being away down here, it was away up to top, and he was first on, I think, almost all of the regional seat ballot papers, which I don't know why, but apparently that gives you a bit of a leg up. So we are like changing what was on the voting paper on your second page, because those that are not watching in Scotland, we vote for a constituency. In Glasgow, for example, there's 9 constituencies. I think every region's got 9. And then you get 7 regional seats, and that's on the second paper. So in the second paper, you vote for a party normally, or I think it's very unusual if it's happened at all, where an independent would be in the regional list. So you would just tick Tory or Labour or whatever, and then all the parties submit a list of regional MSPs that they wish to be considered for a post if they don't get their constituency vote, and they just give them an order once to go through this convoluted process for proportional representation. So I didn't realise that either, that Sheridan was so close to getting re-elected because he was in the year before. So that's us. It was a bit stinky back in 07, all those years ago. What's that, 17 years ago now? And if you need, I think it was 16 at the time, if you had to vote. So you'd had to have been born about 1990. God, unless you're 34 years of age, you wouldn't have voted in that. That's crazy, isn't it? So there you go. Really interesting delve into the history of how the SNP actually got into control Scotland, and they made an absolute, I ain't going to swear, Roger Hunt of it since they did get into power. So if you enjoyed the video, please give me a thumbs up. If you've not already done so, please consider subscribing to the channel. And unless you're SNP or any other ever decreasing cult, everybody else, have a great day. Cheery bye now.